To export a clip from After Effects, you use the render queue. The render queue can have any number of compositions queued up, ready to be exported, all as a kind of a batch export. The way that you use the render queue is that you export or you queue up a composition in the render queue. So to do that, you select a composition in the project panel. You either go up to Composition and Add to Render Queue, or you can use the shortcut Apple Shift /. So down in the bottom, your render queue will open up if it's not already open, and you have a number of different settings here. You have the render settings, the output module, and output to. Render settings are whether you want to export a high quality version. So if it's a finished piece that you want to send to a client, you'll use best settings. But if you're only exporting it just so that you can have a look, an intermediate kind of look at how it looks halfway through your work, then you can change it to draft settings or one of the other settings. The output module deals with the format and the codec that you're going to use. So to get a H.264 codec out of After Effects, you click on the output module, and under format you've got QuickTime Movie, and by default it's set to lossless, which you can see down here. Now the lossless QuickTime Movie format is actually called the animation codec. So if I was to click on format options here, you'd see that it's automatically set to animation. Now I want it set to H.264. So I'll select that in the format, and then I can go into the format options and play around with the specifics of the codec used within that. Now in order for you to be able to get standard definition PAL or HDV footage out of After Effects, you're going to have to probably change the profile and the level. The profile and the levels relate to what kind of an output device you're going to be sending this to. So if you're using it on an iPod, for instance, you'd use a low profile and a low level. It has to do with bitrate and frame size and things like that. So if you're using DV or HDV or HD even, you'll use a high profile and you'll use a level of roughly 4. So if you get an error telling you that you need to reset your profile and your level, it probably means that you need to select a higher profile or level depending on what kind of footage you're exporting. So if I click OK and OK, then I've got an output module. It won't tell me it's H.264, it'll just tell me that it's based on lossless. So lossless was the initial output module, and I've customized it, so what I've done is now based on lossless, but it isn't really lossless at all. And the output to is going to be where I specify where the file is going to be stored when I export it. So I'm going to export this to a folder on the desktop called sample export from After Effects. And when you've got that done, you can either render your clip or your composition rather, or you can add, if you have more compositions that you want to export, you can add them and go through the same steps. So I'll render this. It'll just take a moment. You can see the progress bar, and it plays through the frames in the canvas as well. Now there's not a whole lot done to this, so it'll render fairly quickly. All I've done is placed a piece of text over the top. Alright, so that sound indicates that your render queue has done its job. So if I go out to Finder, I'll see that I have a clip now, Black Leopard, which is what I exported, and I should be able to see my exported clip with my text across the top left. So that's how you get export a clip out of After Effects using the render queue.